Welcome to the Vol Bros, presented by the Uldawa Club. My name is Evan. This is my brother Rustin, and we are two Vol Bros who are actually bros in real life. And as always, we are very appreciative of the Uldawa Club. Super excited to start getting out there a little bit more now that the weather's getting real nice. Sure was a nice night tonight. We are very, very excited to be back. Guess who's back again? We're super excited, man. It feels like a long time, but it's only been a week. But every time we miss a show, it just feels like forever. Mississippi Vols said, Evan Rustin, seems like a long time ago since last show. How you doing, buddy? Man, I agree. Good to have you with us, Mississippi Vol. Mina Leggy said, don't be a bum, smash that thumb. I think that's great advice. If you hit the like button, I would love that. Sam said, fresh off the golf course. Evan, are you fresh off the golf course or am I? I wish I'd been out there tonight. It did kind of sound like I said it that way, but I didn't mean it that way. I'm hoping to be there tomorrow, actually. But I'll let you know how I do tomorrow if I'm able to get out there. Let's see. Diesel 80, welcome. Good to have you, buddy. He said, go Vols. Love it when coach gets to get a W against that fake orange team. So we're certainly going to talk about that. Sandris, welcome. Great to have you. She said, hey, guys, must win tomorrow. If they want any chance at a 1 seed, I think they have to win the whole thing, the whole SEC tournament. But otherwise, I don't think they have a chance at a 1 seed. What do you think, Rustin? Do they have to win the whole thing to get a 1 seed?
I think that's already pretty much been stated. All these predictions of brackets, I wish they would stop showing Joe Lunardi's stuff because he's typically wrong more than he's right. So I don't understand why he gets his stuff shown every year because he's never accurate. But the one thing that has been very consistent, every predictor has made the statement, whoever goes the deepest in the SEC tournament will get a 1 seed. And if one or two of them said it, okay, it's just people guessing. But when all of them are saying it, clearly somebody's leaked that. So, I think it does matter who goes deepest this weekend. I'll be honest, I kind of hope it's not us. I don't want a 1 seed. I don't want to spend the entire tournament on the West Coast. I'll take a 2 that stays around here any day of the week.
Yeah, good point. Sam said he's ready for a great baseball series this weekend. Absolutely. We're going to talk about that here in just a second. Let's see. Mississippi Vols said huge test coming up at Lindsey Nelson this weekend. Absolutely. Totally agree. Jonathan, welcome. Great to have you. Said, good evening, Evan and Rustin. I'm glad y'all are back on. I hope everything is all right. We miss not being able to watch you Sunday. I appreciate that. Yeah, we had a little bit of a frantic, busy evening that night. A lot of stuff came up all at once. And unfortunately, I just wasn't able to get everything done in time to get on the show. So Sandra said, how you guys doing tonight? We're doing great. Absolutely. We're excited to be back on. It does feel awkward. I mean, I had several people come, hey, why weren't you on Sunday night? My uncle asked us that tonight. So Uncle Dave, if you're watching, it's good to see you. My mom asked, my uncle asked, some other folks asked. So it's always nice knowing that people are watching. That's good. It's fun. Rustin, tomorrow, I Bleed Orange said, hey, do you guys think this year's baseball team has potential to be better than 2022? Well, I think we're going to find out a lot this weekend. They are statistically better right now, but we're about to enter SEC play and things change when you enter SEC play. So we'll find out. What do you think, Rustin?
I think this is the best team Tony Vitello's ever had.
There you go. Oreo Puppy Dog said, what are the odds on the Tennessee-Texas game? Sean, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He says, Joel Lunardi, the Mel Kiper of college hoops. Yes. Sanders said, I think our girls are going to make it far because this break was definitely needed. Yeah, they needed to heal up. Like, they needed to. I believe her said, Rustin never lets me down. Well, let's talk about tomorrow.
So the odds are out. Tennessee's a 10.5 point favorite tomorrow.
I don't like that at all. It's rat poison. Josh said, do y'all think we can get a 1 seed if we win the SEC tourney, or is in the hay in the barn for a 2 seed? I think the only way that they end up with a 1 seed is if they win the whole tournament. That's the only way, because they dropped all the way to 8th in the AP poll, which is bizarre to me, but whatever. Diesel said, do y'all believe we should change anything with our lineup to get Cade and Jordan more minutes? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know?
We have no depth. So Cade and Jordan are going to play a lot of minutes regardless. And, you know, when it comes down to it, you're going to put your best 5 on the floor for the final 8 minutes of the game. So, you know, when you get to this point in the season. Yeah. So it really doesn't matter who starts, it's who finishes.
I love what Greg just said. He said, do you provide overnight priority shipping for sudden flare-up of BasketVols syndrome? And that's a pretty good segue. Just in case you didn't know, Rustin and I have a merch shop that is powered. That's a good way of saying it. Powered by Oak and Twine, a local partner here with us. And we've got these BasketVols Syndrome survivor shirts and hoodies and stuff on there. So we welcome you to check out the volbros.com/shop. We certainly appreciate that. It's a great way to support the show. We appreciate it. Let's see. Jonathan said, I don't necessarily want to win the SEC tournament, but I want to win tomorrow just because I want to see Texas lose. Yeah, I don't want to have to hear all we're the real UT stuff from Texas on Twitter. So I want us to win too. Let's see. Sanders said, I also think this break was needed for the Vols because they look tired. Sure. Absolutely. Absolutely. Sam said he was hoping for triple overtime in the Texas A&M game just so they'd all be tired for tomorrow. Josh said, I'll be keeping a very close eye on the flag injury. Most likely would be the 2 seed in Duke's region. If it's a high ankle sprain, I also want to see how he's back. I don't see how he's back before at least the Sweet 16. Let's see here.
Not only that, the other kid that got injured has a dislocated shoulder, so he's pretty much done.
So tomorrow, Tennessee plays Texas in the quarterfinal of the SEC basketball tournament. Obviously, the Lady Vols have already finished the SEC tournament. They are waiting for Sunday as well. Selection Sunday for both the men and women is this Sunday evening. And so the Lady Vols they're just in the wait and see mode right now. But the men play tomorrow. As we are all aware, the SEC and the Big Ten are the only 2 conferences, I think they're the only 2 left, that still have a Sunday championship game. I would like to see how long it takes for that to change to Saturday. Should have already happened in my personal opinion. But, Rustin, what do you expect to see out of the Vols tomorrow against Texas?
I shudder to say it, but honestly, I kind of expect to see a pretty easy win. This is Texas's 3rd game in 3 days. They're not an overly deep team. They had to play a double overtime emotional game against their rival today. I just don't see them having legs for a 3rd game. So I fully expect, I think they'll keep it close in the first half, but I think we'll just wear them down and probably pull away late. And I wouldn't be surprised if we cover that 10.5 point spread. I think we could beat them by 15 or 16. Because I don't think they're going to have the legs to go much longer than that. And as physical as we are, and let's be real, that's a home game. I mean, that whole gym's going to be Tennessee orange. So I wouldn't be surprised at all if we beat them by 15 plus.
Oh no, I may need to order myself a shirt. I'm just not. I just want to win. I mean, like, if it's a 1 point win, I'm happy. Just get out of there with a win.
I just don't see how they're going to play 3 games in 3 days with the physicality that they've been playing. I mean, this will be the 3rd game. This will be the 3rd game in a row against 3 really rough teams. And today went double overtime with tons of emotion. Like, it's just hard to maintain that.
but they're playing for their tournament life. That's the
I think
thing.
they're already in. I think they were on the bubble. Winning today got them in. I don't think they have to do any more.
Probably. But you never want to leave it in the selection committee's hands, you know?
I think if the selection committee truly puts a priority on strength of schedule, then 14 SEC schools get in. You know, they're talking 13 are for sure, and there might be a 14th. I think if they truly believe in strength of schedule, these 14 should get in. And, you know, there's a few Power 5 teams that are on the bubble that have no reason being on the bubble. Like they shouldn't even be in the conversation. You know, I think they were talking about today. Vanderbilt had, I believe it's 6 top 25 wins. North Carolina has 1. How's that even a conversation? And they're saying those two are jockeying for the last spot.
Well, okay, so here's another thing. Duke has 0 ranked conference wins this year.
Yeah,
0.
the ACC's down.
Like we don't know how good they are because earlier this season they played Kentucky and Kentucky beat them. You know, that was what I think the 4th game of the season, something like that.
Yeah.
So the SEC is far and away the best conference in the country. It's not close. Even when you have, you know, longtime staunch ACC guys like Jay Billis saying the SEC may be the best conference this year that we've ever seen ever in college basketball.
Well, no conference has ever
it's just
gotten
not close.
Yeah.
Some of the comments that came.
No conference has ever gotten 13 teams in the tournament, and they're talking about possibly 14.
Yeah. Yep. Josh said, "Are y'all live Sunday after bracketology?" Oh yeah, buddy, we are. Yes, we are. That's going to be a big show. That's going to be a good one. So just so everybody knows, last year we're going to do it again this year. We always have a bracket challenge that's a Vol Bros bracket challenge, and the winner gets a gift. We hadn't decided what we're going to do this year. I don't remember what we did last year. I think we did a free shirt or something last year. I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
But I think, oh yeah, it was a Battered Vol Syndrome Survivor shirt. That's what we did last year. We ended up not sending it out because I won. Not to brag or anything, but we'll be Rustin and I Sunday night. We are going to go through the entire bracket and pick every single game and predict every single game in the bracket. And we'll spend the whole show doing that. It's going to be a blast. Like I said, if you wanted to, you know, maybe get ideas from somebody, I did win the whole thing last year, so but it'll be fun. It'll be a fun show. It's always a blast every year doing that bracketology show. So we're gonna do it again. Reed was with us last year. That was fun. He wanted to be this year, but he just couldn't make it Sunday night. So we're super excited. It's always a fun show. We invite you to join us. It'll be Sunday night at 9, and we'll get a little bracketology going on. Josh said his prediction for tomorrow: real UT 74, fake UT 60. Hope so. I would love that. Sam said, "Who's driving the bus to Nashville?" Josh said they don't guard the 3 well. Lanier should go off. And Diesel Lady said Texas doesn't play a lick of defense. Jonathan said, I didn't get to watch much of the Texas game today, but I saw there was 50-something fouls called in that game. Holy cow.
It was rough.
I did not realize that.
Yeah, they let them beat on each other, and then they lost control. So then they decided to get all the control, and they started calling every little touch.
Josh said, I'm watching these other conference tournaments, and it's night and day, the athleticism of the SEC versus all the other leagues. If the conference doesn't crap the bed, they should win the title this year. Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Josh said, buzzer beaters everywhere. Texas Tech beat Baylor at the buzzer. Louisville beat Stanford at the buzzer. Sam said the goat hat for Vitello, but what for Barnes?
Ole Miss beat Arkansas at the buzzer this morning.
So I've actually had a few ideas for Rick Barnes. One was like our deacon can beat your deacon or something like that. I've had a few ideas. Josh said, I love our team on a neutral court. Most of these good teams are completely different away from their home court. Diesel Lady said, you guys should do a collaboration with Frank and House of Orange. Both channels are great Tennessee content. So who's Frank? I've heard of House of Orange. I don't think I've watched them. I'm sure they're fantastic. I'm curious who Frank is. Is Frank the Tennessee Sports Guy channel? Is that who that is? Y'all let me know.
Never.
Let's see. Brennan liked the idea too about having a Deacon Barnes shirt there. Greg said, will Matthew McConaughey be there getting more airtime than the players?
100%.
I'd be willing to bet $500 that he would be there. Yes. And he will be all over the camera all game long. You can take it to the bank. So that's tomorrow afternoon at 3:30. That's the scheduled start time. Now, obviously, if the game before them goes long, goes into overtime, whatever, then it's going to bump the Tennessee-Texas start time back. But it's scheduled to start at 3:30. So everybody keep your eyes peeled for that one. Let's see. Sandra said, Frank covers baseball, football, basketball, and now the Lady Vols. Good. I'm glad. That's good. Let's see. Minalagi said that McConaughey will be on the TV all night. Well played, madam. Well played. Well, let's talk about some baseball. Best start in the history of Tennessee baseball. They have never made it this far into the season, still undefeated. So that in and of itself is a huge win. Huge props to this team for that. The Grand Slam record in NCAA history is 14. Tennessee has 8 already, and it's just now March. But things change when you get into SEC play. Things change. They released tonight that 2 things. One, AJ Russell will not be available this weekend. They also released the pitching starters for this weekend. As expected, tomorrow night is Liam Doyle. Saturday is Marcus Phillips. And making his first appearance ever Sunday is TBD. So I'm not familiar with that player, but I'm looking forward to seeing TBD get on the mound. So we'll be really interesting to see who they put out there for Sunday. Let's see. Tennessee. We had some comments come through. Diesel Lady said Tennessee will win the series against the Gators, but will drop one. I think that's a great prediction, actually. 100. Yeah, I agree. Sam said hit a home run completely out of a major league ballpark. Yep. You're exactly right. They sure did. A true freshman did that. And Josh said Tony Vitello said it's going to be April before we see AJ Russell.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I hate it for him. I just hope he gets back soon. I mean, I hope he's healthy. This is his draft year. Like, he needs this. So I hope he gets back healthy. Robert, welcome, buddy. Good to have you. He said, I think House of Orange lives in South Carolina, but grew up in Sullivan County. That's cool. Sullivan's that's where King is, isn't it, Rustin?
Yeah.
That's what I thought. Tri-Cities area.
Mm-hmm.
Josh said this will be a great test for our offense. One of the best pitching staffs in the country in Florida. So that's exactly what I was about to talk about. Jonathan said, I thought the 22 team would be the best baseball team I would watch for a long time. But this year's team, I think, will be better. Josh said, I expect some pretty low scoring games. So I'm going to tee you up here, Rustin. I'm going to tee you up. as we look forward to this weekend, I say this with no exaggeration. I do not mean for this to sound dramatic. I do not mean for this to sound, overly aggrandizing to either team to build up the game for tomorrow. But I think that we can honestly say that the pitching matchup we will have tomorrow night will be the single best pitching matchup of the entire season in all of college baseball this year. Do you think that is an overstatement? What do you think?
No, I fully expect Friday to be a 3-2 game. I think the biggest difference this weekend, and I think it'll actually determine Sunday, I think both teams' starting pitching is very good. Liam Peterson's going to throw Friday. Aiden King's going to throw Saturday. Both of those guys are legit. I'm not sold on the rest of Florida's staff. Their numbers, like I've watched them play a couple of times. They're kind of hit or miss. They tend to gut a lot of fastballs. I think if we can get into their bullpen, we can do some damage. And I think the greatest reflection of that is right now, our team ERA is half of Florida's. So I think we've got an opportunity there. And the two frontline starters, Peterson and King, they both have sub-1 ERAs. So it's not them giving up the runs, it's the bullpen. Because if you take those two guys out, their pitching staff ERA is probably closer to 5. So, clearly the bullpen will give up some runs. So I think if we can get into the bullpen, we can have a lot of success. I think that.
Do you think Tennessee's hitters, do you think that their hitters will take more pitches than normal just to drive up Peterson's pitch count tomorrow?
I think we just naturally do that anyway. I think we're a very disciplined team, and we watch a lot of pitches and really analyze. The key is going to be, because our MO has kind of been forever, the whole time Josh Elander's been hitting coach, we tend to take a lot of pitches first time through the order because we want to see everything they have and diagnose how their ball moves. And then the second time through the order is typically when we do a lot of damage. So, our starting pitching needs to keep them off the scoreboard first time through the order, knowing that we're probably going to score a bunch of runs second time through. But again, I think Sunday for both teams is going to be a Johnny Hull staff. I don't think either one of them has established who their third starter is. And, they'll both analyze the numbers from Friday and Saturday and then decide which reliever is going to start on Sunday. And it'll probably be a thing like it was the last few weekends where Sunday is an inning here, 2 innings there, 7 or 8 guys throwing. And, I think that's where Tennessee has an edge on Florida. I think they have a much deeper pitching staff than Florida does.
I think it's going to be fascinating to see who enters the game. I'm going to make an assumption here. The assumption will be that Liam Doyle goes at least 5 innings, if not 6 or 7. It will be fascinating to see who enters the game after he leaves. Is it going to be Arvidsson? Is it going to be Tanner Franklin? Is it going to be Nate Snead? I'm certain that the situation at the time will certainly, dictate who comes in. You have to imagine that's probably going to be a fairly close game. I think we're going to see Liam Doyle and Nate Snead tomorrow. I think that's what we're going to see.
I think they'll probably go Tanner Franklin after Liam Doyle. I think they really like Nate Snead coming after Marcus Phillips. I think for the first time ever, we'll actually see how the bullpen's truly going to be used. It's not just going to be, hey, we need to get this guy some mound time, so we're going to roll him out there. I mean, you might see Tanner Franklin and then Dylan Loy and then Ryan Combs. They might go left, right. and try to keep them off balance. And, 4 very different pitchers from 4 very different arm angles.
Yeah.
So I think you're going to see a wide range of things. And I think Nate Snead is settling in as their, like they were going to do last year with AJ Russell and Nate Snead, where one of them throws half the game and the other one throws the other half, and however they split it, doesn't matter. It's going to be the two of them. I think they really like him and Marcus Phillips together.
Either way, whether they got Tanner Franklin or Nate Snead or who, either way, it's going to be Liam Doyle, lefty, followed by a very hard throwing right-hander. That's talk about keeping them off their toes. That's what we want. These ladies said Doyle, Franklin, game 1. That's what we've seen so far. So it's logical to assume that'll continue. I said I'm going to tee you up, and Brendan says it's the first tee ever called on Rustin. Josh said Florida and Arkansas. The second one. You're counting coaching days.
I've had 2 technicals called on me.
Josh said Florida and Arkansas just worry me. Outside of those 2 teams, Tony has really dominated all of the teams, including LSU and Vandy. Oreo Puppy Dog asked about the Lady Vols, so I'll star that one. We'll come back to it.
And it's amazing. And it's amazing how fast A&M has left that conversation. Like, he just sat there and named Florida, Arkansas, LSU, and Vanderbilt, and did not mention A&M. And honestly,
it was preseason number 1.
Yeah, I mean, and honestly, there's a good reason why. Like, they are tanking. They have been awful this year.
Yep. Sam said Florida's been stealing a lot of bases, and that's not good because Tennessee lets that happen a lot.
They've been better. They've been better about it this year. I was just looking at it. They've got Cannon Peebles is 6 of 12. He's thrown out 50% of runners. That's a really high percentage for any catcher.
Yeah, it's good. Josh said, I do think Florida's hitters are a lot more strikeout prone and don't have great plate discipline, but they have a lot of power like us. Well, if that's the case, then it's going to be fun watching Liam Doyle deal tomorrow night. Jonathan said, do y'all think they will get rid of the dirt on the mound? And I think it's going to stay. It's going to stay. These ladies said anyone think that Cannon should start over Stone Wallace.
Cannon will start over Stone Wallace. Cannon will catch Friday and Sunday, and Stone will catch Saturday. That's what they do.
Let's see. Brendan said, all right, Rustin, spill the beans. What are the details of the technicals? I'll save that one for later. How about that? If we have time.
I mean, it takes a lot for me to get teed up. One was a umpire, well, I shouldn't say 2 technicals. I've gotten a technical in basketball, and I've gotten seat belted in baseball. The seat belt in baseball was an umpire with rabbit ears that was just awful. And the game before he seat belted me, he threw out an entire bleachers. So, like literally the entire bleachers. The one technical I got coaching basketball, I earned it. We had 42 fouls called against us. This is not made up. I've still got the book. We had 42 fouls called against us, and the other team had 4.
That's pretty even.
Yeah.
Diesel 80 said Stone is better with bat. My only point, although I know the position defensively would lean to Peebles. Let's see. Josh said, anyone worry about our fielding? I think we'll lose the game this year just because of infield fielding. It's just not good. They're definitely solid up the middle.
I think the other thing you have to keep in mind, yes, Stone swings the bat really, really well, and he may DH one of those games that he's not catching. I think the thing you have to keep in mind, Cannon Peebles is a field general, and he is one of the leaders of this team, and they need him out there. Like he creates a calm with pitchers and a calm on the defense that they need, that Stone Lawless doesn't yet know how to create.
And to Cannon's credit, he is hitting the ball way better this year than he did last year.
Yeah, his numbers don't necessarily.
Josh said hashtag free Berto.
Yeah, his numbers don't necessarily reflect it. His batting average is 213, but he's hit a ton of balls on the screws right at people. So his numbers aren't really. They're a little misleading.
Minalaki, in reference to the umpire that warned you, she said, so it is true. Hearing intensifies as vision declines. Let's see here.
I'm not exaggerating when I say in the game before us, he threw out all the fans, the entire bleachers, refused to continue the game until the tournament director came and got all of them and made them leave.
Seems mentally stable.
Yeah. Never in my life seen that happen. Both teams. Like if it was one team who was just, obnoxious and unrelenting, okay, I get that. But he threw out everybody, both teams' fans.
Brennan, with a fantastic comment, said, reminder, like, share, and subscribe. It's excellent, excellent advice. He said, and buy some high-quality merch. Also, excellent advice. Brennan is referring to the volbros.com/shop. And specifically, Brennan recently got these hats right here. He ordered both of these Richardson 112. Oh, the sizing, the goat is off on that one. It's messed up right now, apparently. Yeah, I gotta let John or Robbie know about that. So it's actually not that big. If you want to see it in the real, you can go back and watch any of our preview shows. I'm always wearing it. We got a goat hat on there. It's got Tony V's number in the middle of it. It's actually a really good looking hat. They've got it. It's just messed up on the website right now. Brennan has ordered one of each color. He's got the smoky gray and the dark mode. And he said he loved them. Absolutely loved them. Actually, I can pull that up right now and show you what they look like, because I've still got the post from where Brennan texted me and was telling me, hey, these look great. And I asked him if I could post it, his comments, and he said, yeah, sure. So here it is right here. I'll share this tab instead. So there's the hats right there. You can see them in all their glory. They look great. Smoky gray, dark mode. Got the goat and 22 on them. Puff embroidery. They're just really good looking hats. So we love it if you went to the volbros.com/shop and got those. Josh said, I can't believe we get to watch Levi Clark for 3 years. Dude is going to be a legend here. Amen.
He's
Amen.
But human beings should not be able to do the things he does.
Sanders said, Arkansas's baseball team worries me because I don't think we've beaten them in about 3 years. And Josh said, these SEC tourney games have been amazing today. Mississippi State, Missouri, another good one happening right now.
They really have. I'm watching it as we're talking, and the whole day has been exceptional. And I flipped around, and I work from home, so I get to flip around and watch a bunch of stuff. I've flipped around and watch other tournaments, and this one really is significantly better. Like the caliber of player, the athleticism, the physicality. Like the SEC really is significantly better than every other conference this year.
All right, and just so everybody knows the schedule for this weekend for Tennessee baseball, as soon as, here we go, now it's showing it. So here's the schedule. It's kind of small. See if I can make it a little bit bigger here. Zoom in. If for some reason it jumped back up to St. Bonaventure, don't know why. All right, so tomorrow night, 6:30 p.m. on SEC Network Plus, which is a real shame. I mean, I understand. I get it that the SEC basketball tournament's happening. It's taking up SEC Network. I get that. But y'all, tomorrow night, anybody who's available to watch, you're going to be treated to a pitching matchup between two, I'm going to say potential, but it's really almost certain first round draft picks. Not even first round. We're talking about two.
Top 5.
Exactly. Yes. I mean, the two guys that are going to be throwing tomorrow night, you're going to be watching two future major league pitchers go against each other. And it's going to be an absolute treat to everyone who watches. And so, unfortunately, it's SEC Network Plus, but I get it. The basketball tournament's on. I get it. So we got tomorrow night, 6:30, 6 o'clock Saturday. That one is on SEC Network. And then back on the SEC Network Plus or the ESPN app on Sunday at 1. So those are the 3 games this weekend. Somebody asked, let's see, welcome, Herb. He said, what's your prediction for the weekend series? I'm going to say we go 2-1. I do think we win the series, but it's really tough to beat a team as good as Florida 3 times.
Yeah, Saturday concerns me because I'm blanking. Aiden King throws on Saturday against Marcus Phillips. This is going to be big boy ball for Marcus Phillips. This is his opportunity to put up or shut up. If he continues to throw the way he has against this Florida team and beats Aiden King, he will put himself squarely on the map with Major League Baseball. He's probably right now, I would bet around somewhere between round 12 to 15. He goes out there and has a huge outing against Florida. He could easily jump in the top 5 rounds. Aiden King's really good, and he's a crafty left-hander with good velocity. He's the kind of guy who gives everybody fits. So it's going to take a huge effort to beat him on Saturday.
Josh agreed with you. The quality of play in other college basketball tournaments right now is nowhere near the same level as the SEC. Rhonda, welcome, Rhonda. Great to have you. She said, good evening, Vol Bros and chat family. We're glad you're here. We are certainly glad you're here. Herb said, Kyle Peterson is an awesome guy to listen to Saturday night on SEC Network. Agreed. Josh said, is Burke on Saturday night call? That's a great question. I don't know. That's a really good question. We'll have to find that out. I'm sure he would love to be. He loves good baseball, especially when it's Tennessee. So I'm sure he would love to be. One of the questions that came through that we skipped over because we were in the middle of baseball, Oreo Puppy Dog asked, how do you think our Lady Vols do in the NCAA tournament? So obviously, just in case anybody wasn't watching earlier, the Lady Vols will find out Sunday night after the men's tournament reveal. Then they have the ladies tournament reveal. So we'll find out Sunday night, when and where the Lady Vols will be playing. Now remember, the men's tournament, you've got Thursday, Friday, round of 64, and then, or 68 now. And then, 64, still around 64. And then that's Thursday, Friday. Saturday, Sunday is around a 32. The women are a day behind after that. So they will be Friday, Saturday, round of 64. Sunday, Monday, round of 32.
Mm-hmm.
So if, the Lady Vols, if they play on Friday, then their second round game would be on Sunday. And if they play the first round on Saturday, then their second round game would be on Monday. So hopefully we get to see the men and women play 4 times total this weekend. Both teams will hopefully have 2 games, and hopefully both teams win both of them and they both advance to the Sweet 16. I'm going to say that the Lady Vols make it. Well, who knows? We won't know till Sunday because we don't know who they got to match up against. That's all that matters. It's all that matters in the NCAA tournament. It's matchups. Senior guard play, the ability to make free throws, two biggest factors in the NCAA tournament. Now, if you think about Tennessee, that's good news for Tennessee. The men's team. How far do you think the Lady Vols go without knowing their draw? What do you think?
I think they're built for tournament play. I could easily see them making the Sweet 16, and with a good draw, I could see them making the Elite 8. But without seeing a bracket, it's almost impossible to predict that. I mean, March is all about matchups.
Agreed. Totally agree. Greg said, "Hey, Greg, welcome, bud." He said he thinks it's the Sweet 16. John said, "I saw today that softball's moved Saturday's game to tomorrow due to rain. I kind of wish they had a turf field as well, so the rain wouldn't affect them as much."
They probably still would have moved it. Softball and wet surfaces don't go together. It's so fast paced, and there's so little room for error. It's really hard. Even on turf, it's really hard to play softball.
Herb said SEC baseball is absolutely crazy. It sure is. The toughest conference in the league or in the country, no doubt. Josh said, "We got no breaks on our SEC schedule. It has to be the hardest in the country. Florida, Bama, LSU, A&M, Arkansas, and Vanderbilt. Insane." 100% agree. 100% agree. Herb said, "Agreed. SEC baseball is just ridiculous." Yep. Ooh, Rhonda. She said, "If you haven't seen Chris Lofton's documentary, you got to watch it." I would agree with that. All Vol fans will love it. Vol fans will love it.
Yep.
So, obviously, a huge weekend, and it all starts tomorrow. You've got baseball, well, I got football in my brain after that comment.
That's going on too.
Football's they are practicing this weekend. They are. But regular season and postseason games, you've got baseball starting a 3-game series against Florida tomorrow. Men's basketball tomorrow at 3:30 against Texas, quarterfinal of the SEC tournament. And the Lady Vols softball team also playing. So you got a lot going on. Sunday night, huge night. It's one of the best nights of the whole year. You get the men's NCAA tournament bracket reveal. The Lady Vols will find out right after that where they're playing. And then the Vol Bros come on Sunday night, and we're breaking down the entire tournament. And we're going to predict every game in the NCAA tournament. And we will post in the comments that night the link to our college basketball bracket challenge. We'll have a winner, gets a gift or prize just like we did last year. Last year, I won the thing, so we didn't give a prize because I was like, I don't need it. I just, we just passed it up. But last year, the prize was going to be a shirt. We might do that again. We'll talk about it. We'll let everybody know Sunday night. But seriously, you want to be here Sunday night because it's going to be a lot of fun as we break down that entire tournament. And then we'll all go enter our brackets and see what happens. Let's see. Josh said, "I think we see 2 World Series teams this year with baseball and softball." I agree. I mean, it's hard not to agree with that. Sanders said she agrees too. Josh said that documentary was very well done with Chris Lofton. Chris Lowe on the voiceover in it. Good job by him as well. Sam said, "Seems like there's been a little infighting on Lady Vols team. What do you think this is all about? NIL?" I don't know. Hopefully we don't see it during the tournament. That's the hope.
I don't think it has anything at all to do with that. I think this is a veteran team. They got a lot of mature players who have been around the block. They understand what it takes to be successful, and your leading scorer has maturity issues. And when you're especially college basketball, you pretty much live together for 4 months. I mean, you don't do anything other than, people talk about class. They ain't going to class. They're doing class online. They've got tutors. They're turning in stuff on the road. They eat, sleep, and breathe basketball for the 4 months they're in season, and they spend every waking minute together. So if you've got somebody in the locker room who has all the ability in the world, but maturity issues, and that individual is surrounded by veterans who don't have maturity issues, after 4 months, it gets a little agitating. Like you kind of get to a place where you're like, okay, this has to stop. And I think that's where they are right now. And I think if you watch how Kim Caldwell has talked to that individual for the last couple of weeks, you'll see that she's trying to educate her on what it means to grow up. And so I think the time off has probably been good. It's an opportunity to get away from each other a little bit, do some regular college student stuff, because they probably took a few days off, didn't practice at all, just healed up. But it's also an opportunity to bring some of those individuals into the office and go, hey, look, here's what we need moving forward. You know, if you're a veteran, here's what we need from you to make sure this individual doesn't get in her feelings. And if you're that individual who struggles with maturity, sitting that person down and showing her video footage, showing her clips of games and stuff that gets caught on television and go, look at what you're doing right here. Look at your body language. Look at what the whole world just watched you do. And make it abundantly clear that there's only two paths forward. You either fix it and grow up, or play as hard as you can for the next few weeks and then hit the road. And that's where it is.
Totally agree. Jonathan said he agrees as well. Greg said it's a Juwan Jennings situation. No, I think it's different than that, because the players weren't upset with Juwan. Juwan was just upset with the coaches because he was infuriated by their inept ability to coach.
Yeah.
This is the players upset with Talasia because her attitude stinks. Hopefully it gets better. Josh said, I'm going to need Kim to rein that in. It's so easy to root for Barnes teams because they only take in guys that are mature and great people. Hadn't been as easy to root for Lady Vols this year. He said Puckett's body language has been horrible for about the last month.
She struggled. I don't think her issue is so much the personality issue within the team. I think her issue is she is extremely hard on herself. And when she gets in a slump, she's her worst enemy. And so, you know, they've talked about she's got to get out of her head. She's got to just play. Having some time off will help with that significantly. She probably got out of the gym. They may have told her to stay out of the gym. Just go be a student for a few days. You know, sometimes it's good to just walk away and not do it for a little bit.
Brennan said he thinks the prize for the winner in the bracket challenge should be the new Rick Barnes hat we're going to make. Eric said, what's up, all bros? I'm excited. I think the baseballs and basketballs win this weekend. Absolutely, man. Rhonda said, who would y'all like to see us play in men's and women's in the tournament? All right, so here's how I'm going to answer that. I'm going to say who I don't want to play in the tournament. Anybody else I'm cool with, but there's 4 teams that I don't want to play. 3 of them are SEC teams. I don't want to play Alabama, Auburn, Florida, or Purdue. The reason I don't want to play those 4 teams is because they all have more than one shooter on their team. Purdue has about 2 or 3 dudes that when they step across half court, that 2 in particular, they step across half court, they're within range. I don't want to play a team like that. If a team has one shooter, okay, sign me up, because we'll just put Jemai on him and say, don't let him score. But if a team has more than one, I don't want to play them, because if they're on, will we be able to match them? And that is a big coin toss every time we step on the court. So that's why I mean, let's be honest. When we played Auburn at Auburn, the only reason that game was close was because Auburn was missing every shot they took, just like we were. If they had been hitting their shots like they do normally, they would have beat us by 15 or 20 because we didn't hit anything. Then you look at games where we come out and, we hit 13 total threes as a team. Chaz hits 8 by himself. And you're like, what's happening? Like, who's going to step on the court that night? Is it going to be a team that can't make shots, or is it going to be a team that hits everything they put up? So because of that, I don't want to play teams that consistently shoot well, because I don't want to be in a situation where we're trying to play catch up because they're hitting all their shots. What do you think, Russ?
That might be the first time all year anyone's put Purdue in the same breath as Auburn, Alabama, and Florida.
They can shoot it.
Yeah, they can, but they're a bunch of sissies. I think you can bully them all over the court. I'm not impressed. They can shoot against teams who don't guard, so I don't see them getting a lot of looks. Who I don't want to see on the men's side, any long, athletic team that is also physical. Our greatest strength is our physicality. We can turn games into rock fights if we need to. The one group that will give us fits is somebody that's, like a Texas A&M, somebody that's hyper physical, but also long and athletic and can find ways to score in ugly games. On the women's side, I don't want to see anybody with an above average point guard. Because I don't like the way we take plays off in the trap and we give up a lot of layups. And so above average point guards can give us all kinds of problems.
Some of the comments that are coming through, let's say, Greg said that Zakai Barnes hug tells you all you need to know about this team.
That and the fact that 20,000 people stayed for senior day after a game.
Yeah. Josh said if the Lady Vols team does fold in like the round of 32, if they lose, then is the honeymoon over for Kim?
She's won over 20 games in a season where she had to piece together a roster from nothing in the toughest conference in America, and she was a finalist for National Coach of the Year.
Yep, she's had a fantastic first year. Exceeded expectations, I'll put it that way. Josh said give me Purdue all day.
Amen.
Yeah, I just don't want to see them.
They don't concern me in the slightest.
It's not so much them that concerns me. It's us that concerns me playing them.
I think we can bully them. I don't see them getting shots. I see them getting pushed 25, 30 feet from the basket. There's no big post player in there to be concerned about. You can get out and guard them.
But then what did Kentucky do that they had wide open threes all day long twice when we played them?
Kentucky is that team that I would just mention. They're long and athletic and they can be physical. I don't want to play Kentucky. They fit the mold of the team that we struggle against.
Sam said, Kim only had a short time to put a team together. It's going to take a few years to get your players for sure. Rhonda said,
Purdue has lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of their last 7. And all their losses, Michigan, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Indiana, that's a bad loss. Illinois. Okay, what do Michigan, Wisconsin, Michigan State, and Illinois all have in common? They're all physical. And all of them beat Purdue.
Yeah, I just know I watched them shoot the lights out the other night. It was like the next to last game of the regular season or something.
Yeah, against Rutgers. They're awful.
No, it was when they played UCLA.
Yeah.
It was probably about.
They don't guard anybody either. I'm just saying the teams that guard people, they lose to. They've lost 5 out of their last 7.
Josh said our Achilles heel is an athletic 5-man that can play outside. Look at our games. Akpara can't guard that guy. Think of Amari Williams at Kentucky, Brakefield at Ole Miss. They definitely revealed.
Auburn beat Purdue by 18. Texas A&M beat them 70-66.
Hey, I'm just telling you. I watched them shoot the lights out. It can happen. I don't want to see that.
I think we make their lives miserable.
Jonathan said, I bet come Sunday night, all the teams that are in our side of the bracket will be dreading knowing they're about to be guarded by Meshack. For sure.
100%.
No doubt. I mean, listen, how many teams in the SEC had, now I think everybody in the world agrees, even people who don't like the SEC, I think everybody knows the SEC is the strongest conference in the country this year. Okay. Of all the teams in the SEC, which team had 2 SEC all defensive team players this year? Tennessee. Jemai Meshack and Defensive Player of the Year for back-to-back seasons, Zakai Ziegler.
They were also both named to the finalists for National Defensive Player of the Year.
So, I mean, nobody is looking forward to playing them. Like, that's just the reality of it. Because they know they're going to be in a dogfight all night. They know it. Josh said, I actually think we do well against any other team that doesn't have an athletic 5. People are saying BYU, but we match up great with them because their 5 is a straight rebounder, 0 scoring threat.
Yep.
And Greg said, and Kim Caldwell beat UConn this year. It's exactly right. Josh said, read his comments on what Kentucky did. They had their center running point guard. He said, teams that can have their center run point will definitely give us problems. Only about 3 teams in the entire country can do that to us.
Yep. And they're all in the conference.
Yeah. JL, welcome, buddy. He said, it's the refs when playing Purdue that concerns me.
Y'all got to move past that.
Gone.
Zach Edey is not walking in that door.
Yeah, it's the other 3 dudes that shoot the lights out that concern me.
Not when they're being guarded.
Sam said, Ken has the number 1 player from Florida and New Jersey on the way. She's got 5 McDonald's All-Americans on the way.
And
that's
Tennessee.
Going to be helpful.
And don't sleep on the one from Tennessee. Lauren Hurst can flat play.
John said, he said, Evan has a bad case of BasketVols syndrome. I'm talking about Purdue right now. I'm just telling you what my eyes saw, man. That's all I'm saying. Josh said there will be one team in the country that's going to go sag off Ziegler and make him beat us shooting a 3. He has to be able to stop or step up in that situation for sure. Our guys have to be able to shoot the ball. They have to. We are at the point now in the season as of Sunday night. Listen, I hate to say it, but the SEC tournament doesn't matter for Tennessee. They're going to be a 2 seed. Even if they lose tomorrow, they're a 2 seed in the NCAA tournament. Potentially, if they even win the whole thing, they might be a 2 seed, maybe move up to a 1, but they're probably going to be a 2 seed. So, starting next Thursday or Friday, whenever Tennessee's first round game is going to be, all season long, we've watched Tennessee sometimes show up shooting the ball really, really well. And then we've watched them show up sometimes and couldn't hit water if they jumped out of a boat. And sadly, that can't happen anymore. Because every time that's happened, we said, you know what? You shake it off, you flush that game down the toilet and move on. It's over, it's done. You got to move on. But you can't do that anymore because now it's one and done starting next week. So you can't have off shooting nights. You just can't. And if you're playing a team that shoots the ball well, That's how upsets happen in March. Just saying. That's how it happens. Let's see. Greg said denial of Battervall syndrome is the first symptom of Battervall syndrome. Big Bird, welcome all the way from Sesame Street. We appreciate you joining us. He said if we lose to Rodney Terry, he's not going to be happy. Sam said the NBA doesn't allow as much contact as the SEC.
And they don't have to worry about it. Nobody plays defense.
Yep. Josh said that will be the most teams' game plan moving forward. Just watch. They don't want Ziegler to facilitate. They want him shooting. Yeah, I agree. Big Bird said this team will either lose in the round of 32 or make the Final Four. It's hard to argue with that. Like, I mean, that is a really strong point. I mean, that's the kind of team that we have here. They have to be consistent in how they play during the tournament.
You know, one thing Rick Barnes does when teams go to that, when they start sagging off Zakai, is they just don't have him run point. They have Gainey run point, and they start running Zakai and Chaz off all those baseline screens so that you have to guard him, and you can't sag off because he's just running circles around the court. So it creates driving opportunities for him. And, that's the counter that Tennessee has gone to every time people sag. And since they've started doing that, people aren't really sagging off anymore. So I think they've found the solution to that, and I don't foresee people trying that too much unless they haven't done their homework.
Like you said, Batterball syndrome is real. Maybe we should run a sale on our website on the Batterball syndrome stuff. John said this men's team can win the championship. They could, but he said, I think at the end of the season, everybody's going to be saying they were a JP Estrella away from being a championship team.
It's possible.
Josh said, I do think the refs in the SEC tournament are calling it like the NCAA will be called. These games have had a ton of fouls called, so it should help the conference in the NCAA tournament. That's not good for Tennessee, though. Because Tennessee has 8 guys. That's it, pretty much.
Well, they're calling a lot of fouls, but they're also letting them be real physical. I mean, Missouri and Mississippi State are abusing each other right now. It's a rock fight.
So just a huge, huge weekend for Vol sports. I mean, just a huge weekend. Sam said Kentucky looked like they got up and bumped Z straight into a trapping defense.
Yeah.
To the 270 people watching across all 3 platforms right now, we really appreciate you joining us. We hope all of you join us Sunday night. It's going to be a huge night. Like I said, there will be a complete bracketology show with us Sunday night. We're going to break down the entire tournament, predict every game, and we'll start our bracket challenge. You can join it. The winner gets a prize. Josh said, I think it helps Tennessee. These teams hand check like crazy. Tennessee actually stays in front pretty well.
Mm-hmm.
But still only got 8 dudes. That's why it's so important that we're missing JP Estrella and other people who shall remain nameless who left the team after the first 2 weeks. It's unfortunate. We need those guys right now. Rhonda said today, Texas A&M practically had 5 or 6 to foul out.
Mm-hmm.
Josh said, I do think it could hurt Akpar getting in foul trouble. Yeah, I mean, it's going to hurt potentially everybody getting in foul trouble. Our posts definitely foul more than our guards. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I agree with that because our guards do, move their feet well and stay in front of the defender or offensive player, like you're saying. But we hope everybody has a great evening. We hope you join us Sunday night. It's going to be a blast, man. I'm so excited about that show. I look forward to it every year. So I'm really, really excited. John said he's going to be here as long as the good Lord wills it and the creek don't rise. Amen, brother. I like that. That's what I'm talking about. I hope we hope we get to see you then. Very, very exciting show ahead of us. So go Vols tomorrow. Just all over the place. All over the place. We got Vols playing everywhere tomorrow. And so hopefully it's a great, great day for Tennessee athletics. Rhonda said Zakai can't get in foul trouble again. I agree. Jonathan said, great show as always. We appreciate that, Jonathan. Thank you so much, man. Josh said, best time of the year. Hopefully we're talking Final Four in April. Hope so. Absolutely. Absolutely hope so. Matt, he knew. That's what I'm talking about. He said, go Vols, baby. That's right. That's exactly right. We're glad to see you, Matt. Sanders, we're so glad you're with us too. She said, see you guys Sunday. We're glad. We'll hope to see you then. Rhonda said, can't wait for Sunday. Absolutely. I'm really excited. It's one of my favorite shows that we do all year. I love Selection Sunday. I love it. It is absolutely so much fun. Rhonda said, great show. Thank you so much, Rhonda. We hope to see you all Sunday. It's going to be a blast. Print out your brackets. Have them ready to go with us. It'll be a blast. Go Vols, baby. And we will see you Sunday night. Have a great evening, everybody.